you're one of the few people that has actually gone into the courtroom, listened to the testimony. How did you even get mixed up in all this?
Oh my God. You want the long story? You want the short story?
How did you get into court? First of all, it doesn't seem like an easy thing to do.
Well, listen, I have not missed one day except for jury selection because my flight got in late. And today I was put in the overflow room. It was wild. I think people are finally catching on that this case is happening in Virginia. I think they're finally like, but the thing that sucks is I noticed a lot are just fans. And like the last day I was in court on Thursday I was in the room, with everyone. And I noticed there were girls behind me and there were huge bombshells being dropped about the case as we were going. And the girls were like, oh my God, I'm so bored. And I'm like, you don't know anything about this case then? Because this is like, these are huge things that they're dropping on us right now. And it was so crazy to think that they were in court just to look at him. Because I mean, he's there, but like it's not a meet and greet at all. Like he's not turning it around really or anything. I mean, he's there for it's court. So yeah, it's so funny to me.
Yeah. So can you kind of describe what your day looks like? Like how early do you have to get up? How early do you have to get there? And what is it like a cattle call or how does that all work?
Yeah, so I'm not going to give you times, especially now that things are getting kind of crazy.
Yeah. No.
But I've been averaging about 2-3 hours a night of sleep if I'm lucky 4. And it is kind of like a cattle call. So it did get crazy today. There was a Jack Sparrow impersonator there. I'd never seen anything like that until today. But usually we just line up and start to get our wristbands around 7 is when they start passing those out. And first 100 people that are in line, they're who gets into the courtroom. There's 50 for the overflow room, which is where I was today. Every other day I've been in the courtroom, but today no. But I will say about the overflow room, I hadn't been in it yet. And that was actually super fun because in court, you're not supposed to like give any reaction at all. And the overflow room, they don't care. So it was kind of funny to hear the reactions of people as things were being dropped. And it was fun. It was a more fun experience for sure.
So it's just 100 people. You could be anybody just interested in the case. They don't care.
Yeah. And they don't give out a separate section for media at all. There's no like media press passes, nothing like that. Yeah. So it is first come, first serve. You get in, you don't get in. Yeah. So I was, I think I was number 2 for the overflow room. So I was almost there today. Absolutely wild. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wow. So what are you seeing then? A mix of like, who's interested in this case that you've encountered?
I tell you, my favorite person in the world right now is Yvonne. She is Johnny Depp's #1 fan. She's there every morning, first one in line. You won't be able to beat that woman. She's there. I don't know how she keeps up with him. She's his age. I don't know how she keeps up with him. She's wild, and he knows who she is. She's been to so many meet and greets and everything. So it's cool to see her there supporting him because she's been supporting him for years. But for the most part, I will say the people that I've been surrounding myself with has been the other Justice for Johnny Depp creators. And they're mostly domestic violence survivors, including myself. So it's a case that we're super passionate about, especially since we're extremely hurt that Amber has told so many lies. So it's something that has been really important to us. And we've just been really glad that after years of researching it, because I've been researching this case for over 2 years now, to be able to go in and visualize the people that we've been reading about. I mean, even his security guards, his sister. Today we heard from Amber's nurse. So like people you just have read about, you never saw a photo of or anything else, and hear their side of the story of what happened between the two of them.
Wow. Now, are you seeing like a lot of, it seems like it's really turned, like people are like understanding now Johnny Depp is the one who was abused. How is the feeling in court? Is that kind of apparent, or can you really gauge what's happening with that vibe?
Yeah, so I will say when he was on the stand, especially that last day, it was really hard to hear. I mean, that last day he said that he too was a victim of domestic violence, and that's how they ended his statement. And that was really hard to kind of hear, especially for, I think a lot of us grew up watching him. So that was definitely difficult. I will say on Thursday, the room felt electric because we had the ACLU, one of the, I think he's part of the legal team. Yeah, he came in and he started dropping bombs about not only the donations, but about emails that Amber had been exchanging with the ACLU and emails that the ACLU had been exchanging with the Washington Post about the op-ed. So I think before Thursday, I mean, it's a defamation case between two public figures, extremely hard to win. I mean, anyone can say what they want about you when you're at the level that Johnny Depp is at, you know, but that Thursday was the day we all kind of held hands in court and we were like, oh my God, he could win this, because they're talking about how, like, they sold it to the Washington Post by saying, Amber Heard, you know her, like her husband, Johnny Depp, beat her. That, I'm paraphrasing, but that was like the gist. They sold it because she was Johnny Depp's wife, because she's talking about their marriage and the dissolution of their marriage. And she keeps denying that was about the dissolution of their marriage, which, I mean, if you read the article, she says in 2016, 2 years ago, I became a public figure for domestic violence. Well, what happened 2 years ago? Your restraining order, your divorce.
Yeah. It was obvious. It was very obvious. And you've made some interesting observations too. I was listening to your podcast. You were noticing like some interesting nuances, like Johnny Depp would show up with a ponytail and like a certain jacket, then the next day she'd have, like, what do you make of that? And is she still doing that?
We have an update. She did it today. So I actually just took screenshots. Let me see if I can show you. My phone is cracked, so deal with me for a minute. But so this was him before the weekend. I don't know if you can see it. And he's got the maroon. Yeah. And then look at her today.
Oh my goodness.
I know.
What is that, do you think?
So I didn't know until my followers told me on TikTok. So they told me that it is something that abusers do. It's called mirroring, and it's almost to mock their victim or to kind of make them feel crazy, like gaslight them. Like, is she dressing like me? Like, is that like what's happening? Am I losing it? Or is that like the true thing? So that's, they've said it's a real thing. I haven't had time to Google everything because, I just got in from Las Vegas from CrimeCon and I've been going full tilt, but that's what they've told me is going on. So yeah, crazy, absolutely crazy.
Ooh, upsetting, gosh. And then I know I've read that he does a lot of sketching and doodling. Have you been able to kind of look over and see what he's drawn at all, or?
No, but I will say it is super cool to see him. I mean, he's always been an artist. To see him sit down and he gets right to work usually when he comes into the courtroom and starts doodling away. And you can see his notebook. His notebook even is very artsy. He's got stickers and designings on it as well, which is really cool to see. And he's pulling up every day, listening to like Bob Marley and blasting that music. I don't know if you've seen that, but yeah. Crazy.
Yeah. Now, does she seem to like understand what is happening? Like, because she fired her PR team, I guess.
I know, I heard that. So I don't know if she does or not. What I have found from looking through the court documents, the text messages, everything else, I think Amber really believes the majority of her own narrative. I think she just believes it. I think, so like, I don't know. And like when they were fighting, so the psychologist that they had last week, I think she was one of the most reliable sources that they've had on so far. I normally don't take expert witnesses very like seriously because they don't know the couple or anything, but she seemed very established. Like she had a really good background. She knew what she was talking about. She'd sat with Amber for over 12 hours talking with her, and she was there to evaluate Amber. And she seemed super knowledgeable and just, well-read, well thought. And she said that she would diagnose with Amber with borderline personality disorder along with histrionic personality disorder, and everything kind of matched up. And then Elaine, Amber's lawyer, got up and just totally tried to dismiss that. And this whole time, especially since seeing them both in person, I hope Amber has gotten some sort of help. I mean, obviously the two of them are broken people. I think we just know that. We've known Johnny Depp's been broken for a long time. He had a very rough childhood. But I hope Amber is getting help because she's had a very rough childhood as well. It doesn't seem like she's healed from it. It seems like she's still carrying on a lot. And it has been hard to listen to in court, even the stuff about her. So when Elaine started to kind of dispel it, I was like, I hope that like your lawyer's just doing it to win your case and that you're actually getting treatment for this, because I'm a little concerned. But yeah.
Yeah, no, the whole thing is depressing and sad. You know, you mentioned Elaine. I saw somewhere that there's this theory that Elaine is really a Johnny Depp fan, and she was in the crowd. What do you make of that whole thing?
Listen, I wouldn't put it past it, because I think Elaine is the best lawyer Johnny Depp has on his team. Sometimes that woman, well, most times when she gets up, I'm like, yes, but I have to not laugh, but I'm so excited. And then she always goes off. Today, she objected so many times that I think the judge was just like, Elaine, like, if we could not for a minute, just let someone talk. It's too much. That you saw that viral video with Thomas, I think, with Wyatt, Keenan Wyatt, and he's up there and he's there, she's questioning him, like, it's so aggressive, and she's swearing so aggressively in court. She sounds like that aunt that's just learned some new swear words, like she's trying to pass it off. And I'm like, we got to calm down here, Elaine.
Do you think though she is a Johnny Depp fan?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. I will say, she is very nice. She complimented my hair one day. I complimented her dress. She is a very nice lady. But yes, I don't know what's going on with that case, man.
Yeah, no, that just sounded really out in left field.
Yeah.
You know, so it's moving along. There's been all that. I think it was on your podcast. One of your guests talked about the tip jar. Like, this is really a big public opinion thing, win or lose. What's your gut, do you think, when this all shakes out?
So that's hard because, like I said earlier, defamation case, two public figures, extremely hard to say. I will say, at the beginning of this, I was extremely concerned, especially after the United Kingdom case, with Johnny trying this over here. Extremely concerned, because I thought, this is just going to ruin you. But now that it's televised, now that the word is getting out about what she did in the relationship, because the United Kingdom court was very closed. You didn't get to hear the full story, and it was all tabloids. And the reason I'm making my content is I want people not to just listen to me, but I usually link, not my TikToks lately, because I've been trying to get as much information as possible, but I usually link the court documents, especially in my podcast, to what we're talking about. I just want people to look at the court documents, because I think if you look at the court documents, you know what happened between the couple. But I think, so beginning, no idea who was going to win or lose. And Johnny even said he wasn't doing it for the money. He wasn't doing it for anything else. He just wanted his truth out there, and for people that were domestic violence survivors to know that they've been lied to, essentially, because Amber's claiming she's an activist. But now he's won in the court of public opinion. And I feel very vindicated that a lot of people, I've been screaming about this for 2 years now, and a lot of people now are like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize all this stuff was going on. I can't believe she did this to him. So I don't know if either of them will ever get another role in Hollywood again, but I do think it's looking good for Johnny in the sense that he's vindicated and all of this. 6 years of silence, he finally got to speak. And we'll see where it goes from here.
Yeah, because that, like you said, the money is, it's him restoring his name, and being able to work again, you know, which is what he loves. So,
and even for his kids too, like he said, you know, for Lily Rose and Jack, just being able to, because when that was all coming out in 2016, he said, you know, Jack had kids come up to him and throw the People magazine in his face and be like, oh, your dad's a wife beater, like, come on. And so just like horrible, you know, and you know, crazy.
And I know they're not the same, but it does have like a little bit of like the Free Britney, in the sense of there's getting like traction and more people are you feeling that, like more people?
Yeah, I will say this has been a super powerful experience to have here in Virginia, just because it has felt very, like I've been told I've been crazy, and like I've been looking into this far too deeply. I mean, now it's my job, so I'm like, okay, but but yeah, no, it definitely feels like he's getting somewhere, and like there will hopefully be some justice for him. But I will say, to be compared to the Free Britney movement is amazing. A lot of them were on the Justice for Johnny side when we were doing all of this, so it's nice we've had some camaraderie with that group. So it's a good feeling, you know, to finally feel like you're being listened to. And I definitely understand what they were feeling like at the beginning, and you're like, I know I sound crazy, but there's all this evidence, I swear to you.
Have you talked to some of the people from Free Britney? Or
I haven't. I retweeted a few of them, especially after Britney was freed. A lot of them were like, she's free now, justice for Johnny Depp, which was super nice to see.
That's cool. That is great. That is great. Do you know how much longer you're going to be there?
I don't. So for this week, I will be leaving. There's going to be a week-long break next week. I'll be interested to see if some people pop in on Monday and they don't know that the judge is going on us like leave.
We'll tell them.
But yeah, so I'll be back home in Florida with my cats. I haven't seen them in like a month, but get to go see them. But I don't know if I'll be back or not for the end of trial. So we'll just have to see. But yeah, crazy.
But you'll continue to cover it on your podcast.
Oh, 100%. And on my TikToks, I'll still do daily recaps. I definitely don't plan on missing one day of this craziness. 100%. I'm in it. Yeah, forever.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate your time today.
No, thank you so much for having me on. I really appreciate you making time for me.
And no, this is exciting. No one knows what it's like to go in and participate like this, so it's very cool. And now where can everybody find your podcast and your TikTok? What are your handles?
Yeah, so Innocent Till Tipsy on YouTube is our podcast. Also, you can stream it anywhere you stream your podcasts. Ooh, words are hard today. I'm so sorry. And then my TikTok is Spirit of Danny, spelled with an I, or my last name, first initial, Delolio D. So DELLOLIOD.
Perfect. All right. Well, we'll make sure we get that out there. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Have a good one.